Let's get to the opposition. Peter Dutton says he'll raise the minimum age for our kids to access social media to 16 if he wins office treasurer. Will you do the same?
Oh, we support age limits for social media. You know, I think, frankly, not just as a parent, I think every Australian is frankly terrified by the sorts of developments that we're seeing on social media, particularly as it relates to Australian kids. And so we are in favour of age limits for accessing social media, but you've got to make sure that you've got the technology which can do that. And that's why we funded in the budget the trial of some technology which is all about age verification, making sure that having the restrictions is one thing, but being able to actually implement and police that is another thing as well. And so we're doing the work because we support this. We want to see our kids safe online, and that's what all of our work in this area is about.
So your limit is 16 too, is it?
Beg your pardon?
Is your age limit at 16, is it the same as what Peter Dutton is proposing?
Oh, we're working through it. Yeah, we support age limits. We want to make sure we've got the right technology.
Yeah.
We're working through that. That's what the trial is all about.
Okay, yeah, but 16, is that your age limit, or would it be younger than that or older than that, or is that about right?
Well, it's the same answer I gave a moment ago, Pete. Yeah, we are interested in an age limit. We need to set it at the appropriate level. It might be 16, but we need to make sure we've got the technology to deliver that.
Sure.
Having that aspiration is one thing, being able to do it is another.
So Dutton said this morning that the government could use the tax system to pressure tech giants to comply. Is he right? Can that be done?
Oh, obviously we want to make sure that the tech giants pay their fair share of tax. You know, that's part of the reason for the multinational tax changes that we've already proposed and budgeted for. And it's certainly the case that we need the tech giants, the tech companies to work with us and not against us, making the social media environment safer for Australian kids. We definitely need them to help at the same time as we're making sure that they pay their fair share of tax. All of this is part of our efforts to make sure that as the economy changes and the pace of technological change gathers pace, that people are not victims of that, that they're beneficiaries of that. So in the tax system, in appropriate regulation and in other ways, all of this is related.
I guess how do you police how do you penalise if you can't police properly is a point to consider as well. Yeah,
that's right. And I mean, to be frank with you, Pete, you know, Peter Dutton says a whole bunch of stuff, but he never backs it up with any detail. You know, he's a very divisive guy. His party's very divided, and he never provides detail on these sorts of policies. We've seen it, supermarket divestment, nuclear power. He won't tell us where the reactors are going. He can't even explain his own migration policy. There's never any detail to this sort of thing. We take our responsibilities seriously to Australian kids and Australian families. We want to work with the tech giants to make sure that we can make life safe for kids on social media and for people more broadly. That's why we're doing the work in a methodical and a consistent
Just interested to get your thoughts on this too, on Peter Dutton. He, as you know, nixed the 2030 and 2035 emissions targets because they can't be achieved, so wants costings done before setting targets again. How do you feel about that?
Well, Peter Dutton's a very risky proposition when it comes to the economy, and I think this commentary shows that once again. If he rips up the emissions targets, that will send a shiver up the spine of the Australian investment community. You know, one of the reasons we have these targets is to provide certainty to investors, to businesses and to workers, so that everybody knows our ambition and everybody knows what we're working towards. And if Peter Dutton rips that up, that will create extreme investor uncertainty. It will damage our economy, and our workers, businesses, employers and investors will be poorer for it.
Even if targets probably won't be reached?
Well, I believe we can hit our targets. And more importantly, the business community, the investor community, they are working on that basis. And that's really important. We want to work with investors and employers and workers to hit these targets so that we can create the kind of economy which is indispensable to the global net zero transformation. That's our goal here. And once again, Peter Dutton is showing what a risky proposition he is, especially when it comes to the economy. He's divisive, his party's divided, he never provides any detail, and if he rips up these emissions reduction targets, our economy will be weaker as a consequence.
Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers, thanks as always for your time this morning on a beautiful morning, it looks like in Sydney, albeit a little chilly.